So as of this recording, the deadline was today at 4 p.m. And in regards of the winner, I think the Astros won with the acquisition of Zach Greinke. What do you think?
Absolutely. Now that Houston Astros rotation gets even more stacked, now you add Justin Verlander along with former Pirate Garrett Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and man, like you just have to be really envious of any Houston Astros fans, and because that organization just always looks to add to get their team better. And boy, this was a statement.
They gave up a couple of their top 5 prospects to get that. So they're serious in winning. Looking on BaseballReference.com, playoff odds on since yesterday, the 30th of July, the Astros were the favorite to make the postseason, and basically 100% at 99.9%, and the second place to win the World Series at 20.3, just behind Dodgers at 24.3. I'm gonna have to assume that is going up after today.
And this will kind of move into who I feel were the biggest losers. That was definitely the LA Dodgers, in my opinion. They had some major bullpen needs, and the fact that they couldn't get either Felipe Vasquez or Shane Green was, I feel, a really big missed opportunity. I know some or to be quite frank, a lot of Dodger fans have to be very angry right now because they have seen teams such as Atlanta, Houston, obviously really improve their chances in winning a World Series. So you gotta kind of wonder like yes, it's really awesome to covet these really important prospects.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to actually win a World Series, I just gotta kind of wonder what the Dodgers were actually thinking here, because they really needed a Felipe Vasquez or a Shane Green. Just their refusal to give up who were the guys who they just did not want to give up? Was it Garrett Lux?
Lux
Will
was one.
Smith, and some other guys, but
yeah, I don't have their names right here.
But I mean, to me, they were by far the biggest loser, just because they didn't really address by far their biggest need on their team right now.
I think they did get a relief pitcher.
They did.
I think he had an ERA in the 3s,
which isn't terrible, but it's not really what they exactly needed. To me, they needed more of that impact guy. Whereas I believe Atlanta acquired two different pitchers and I believe now they
Atlanta, Shane Green.
Yep, Shane Green, and they acquired someone else too. But I'm
looking.
Yeah, but I also read though
Mike Leake.
Okay, and no,
that's Arizona.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, I thought so. But I read now they have 3 separate guys who now have closing experience, which is just going to be huge.
Mark Melanson.
Yep.
Former Pirates closer.
Yep. Former Pirate closer there. So, Atlanta now they have a fairly good starting staff and now a really good bullpen. Now they're going to be a very dangerous team. Going into August, going into September.
Dodgers got Jed Jerko from St. Louis to get some infield depth. But that's just depth. But there's nothing that would be just a solid that jumps out at you. Another race that was big was the Central and the National League. It's a close race. The top 3 teams are within 2.
I have to ask, though, why did Cincinnati acquire Trevor Bauer from the Cleveland Indians? That
try to get some pitching depth
between that and with the New York Mets acquiring Marcus Stroman, those 2 trades made absolutely zero sense to me. How would you feel about that, Matt?
Yeah, the Reds. I don't know how I feel about them, because even though they're in it, I just feel they're. Let me look at the standings right now. I forget how far out.
I want to say they're at least 5 games out.
They are 7.5 games behind in the division.
Yeah. Okay, that's what.
Wild card. They are 6.5 back. So they have a shot at the wild card, but technically, they have to jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams.
It's a lot of teams to try and to jump
and
over there.
I would have to assume they are doing this maybe for the long term, for next year. They get the pitcher.
Is Trevor Bauer on an expiring contract, by the way?
Let me look. I don't have that. But the puzzling thing is St. Louis is leading the division. Yep. Really didn't do anything. They made it. Cubs, they got Nick Castellanos.
Yep.
I probably butchered the name. I'm
former Detroit Tiger.
That's like the biggest move. Milwaukee got rid of Aguilar.
I did not understand them acquiring Jordan Lyles. Like I mean, like their starting pitching is really struggling right now, and I mean, like Lyles has been awful for the Pirates ever since late May. Like he had that just amazing, fantastic start for about a month and a half, but ever since I believe it was like May 23rd, like he's just been horrendous.
Jordan Lyles last year with the Padres. I saw this video. I didn't know this at the time, a couple of weeks ago, but he was maybe an out or 2 away from a perfect game.
Wow.
For San Diego. I watched the highlights. He had the stuff, and he got signed here in Pittsburgh. He came out. He started. He was really good in the beginning of the year. It's like, oh, this big cheap signing could pay off, and then he just fell off the face of the earth in terms of pitching. Like the rest of the Pirates staff. It's just not him. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. I'm just worried, just with the luck of the Pirates, that he'll go to Milwaukee and he'll just turn into what he did in 2018 with the Padres.
Will not surprise me.
And that's going to be unfortunate. But to get back to Trevor Bauer, his contract status, he signed through this year, making $13 million. So he's arbitration eligible in 2020 and a free agent in 2021. So it is a rental player, essentially, for a couple months. And they're really not out. That means Cincinnati's pretty much out of it. So unless they plan on signing him, I don't understand why you do this. Get rid of Puig. What was Puig's contract? Was he out after this year? I gotta look too.
I'm not exactly sure, but like he's now like he was with LA for ever since that he came up in major leagues, but he's now bounced to another team. Not exactly surprising that Cincinnati moved on from him, just because I never really felt that Cincinnati was ever going to be a contending team but judge on the moves that they made in the offseason. You would have thought that hey, they were trying to go in and win something.
He signed through this year for $9.7 million.
Okay.
Free agent next year.
Okay.
So, see, that doesn't make any unless I'm missing something. You trade away a person who's going to be free agent.
Yep.
Let's just say rent a player from this point on in week. Not a rental player, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yep. To
get a pitcher for a rental for a race that's pretty much a three-team race.
Yeah,
and then nobody in the division really did anything. Maybe the Cubs were the winner if you look at all three.
No one really.
And St. Louis didn't do a damn thing.
Yeah, like no one really separated themselves.
They got one pitcher, a relief pitcher, I believe. St. Louis did, and just reading the mentions on Twitter under St. Louis's Twitter account was hilarious. Everybody was blaming ownership.
Yep.
So nobody stepped out of the Central.
No, to me, I mean, I can't honestly say that I'm confident in picking any one of those three teams, individually who will win that NL Central there. Like as you said, just some really minor moves.
This deadline up until after the 4:00 deadline when
was pretty dead to be honest.
Nothing noteworthy.
No.
But St. Louis, they got a left-handed pitcher, Tony Cingrani, and minor league right-handed pitcher Jeffrey Abreu from the Dodgers. The
only entertaining thing was a hilarious tweet from Ken Rosenthal when he was talking about the Pirates and the Dodgers trade negotiations with Felipe Vasquez. They are engaged in a staring contest.
Pretty much
to see who will blink first, and it turned out no one blinked, and I mean, I never really expected Vasquez to get dealt. I just
unless Dodgers were desperate.
Yeah, which I thought might could have happened, especially after Shane Green got traded to Atlanta. I was like, well, if they don't get Vasquez here, they might strike out here, which they pretty much did. Outside of the reliever that they got late at the 4:00 deadline, they really didn't, and outside of Jed Jericho, they really did not add anything to their team to make them better. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, I don't know how you as a Dodger fan or just even as a casual fan can confidently say that the LA Dodgers are going to win the World Series just based off of their past history.
Right. I mean, money can get you all the players that you want, but doesn't guarantee a championship.
Nope.
I mean, it can guarantee you get there. I don't know. The Dodgers, I'm never confident in them winning it all. They can get to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's like when the moment is absolutely at its height, like they have proven over and over again, it's either one or two innings where they just completely just, whether it's like freeze or whatever, or just have one really bad inning, and it's the absolute difference in those games, which are absolutely crucial. And just them not adding what they really needed in that bullpen, I feel is going to cost them.
I feel
in the World
like
Series.
I feel like even though the pressure is on the Dodgers to win, I feel like it's back on Houston. You make all these trades.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a starting pitching of 4. Do they have Miley? I can't. Oh my God,
I can't remember. But as far as it goes with Houston, they are definitely now in win now. But I do wonder though that with the acquisition of Zach Greinke, if that means that Garrett Cole probably isn't coming back to Houston after this season. So like that's definitely going to be. He's definitely is going to be probably the one of the bigger free agents this off season. And
he's gonna get paid.
He's gonna get paid. I'm just not exactly sure where. Obviously, LA. I feel it will be really interested in him. He's from. I believe he is from California. Somewhere out in California. Just based off of that, he's going to demand probably that 8-year, 7-year deal where he's going to be asked to get paid $25 to $30 million per season.
They had Verlander, Wade Miley, Cole, and Greinke now.
Yep.
Rounding out the top 4.
And it should also be talked about that I believe Arizona is paying $24 million of that. Of that $77 million left on his contract.
Yeah, so it was a hell of a trade for Houston.
A great get for the Houston Astros and the team in Arizona. It's a little of a down season, and they replenished their farm system. So it's when you are trading away these really big trade pieces, you want to get good assets back. You want to do the exact opposite of what the Pirates did with Chris Archer last year, which is They gave up.
I can't say anything.
They gave up.
Work there.
They gave up Tyler Glasnow. That they gave up Austin Meadows, who was in the All-Star game this year, and another promising pitcher in Shane Baz, who's tearing it up now in their system. So, yeah. So that's just whatever Neil Huntington did. Do the opposite of what he does.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to go through some of the trades here, and if you want to jump in, feel free.
Will do.
We got the Braves and the Giants. Braves get Mark Melancon from the Giants, and the Giants get pitcher Dan Winkler and pitcher Tristan Beck from the Braves. Braves shoring up the back of the bullpen, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego Padres get pitcher Carl Edwards Jr. in return and then the Cubs get Brad Week, left-handed pitcher. And then Arizona gets Mike Leake, and Seattle Mariners get infielder Jose Caballero. I'm butchering these names. A notable trade, the Cubs get Nicholas Castellanos, or outfielder, and Detroit gets right-handed pitcher Alex Lang, right-handed pitcher Paul Richan.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota Twins get right-handed pitcher Sam Dyson, and Giants get a pair of right-handed pitchers. And Cincinnati sends Scooter Gennett to the Giants, second baseman, and in return, cash considerations. I don't think anything big for the Reds. They're probably just trying to get some space.
Some salary shedded off there.
And see what happens in the offseason.
Yeah.
That's going to be the big thing, I think, for the Reds.
Mm-hmm.
They did get pitcher. If they sign him, they get Bauer.
Yeah.
What do they do in free agency? That's the big thing for the Reds.
Yeah, if they even do anything, but just judging off of what they did last offseason, you never really know.